Hello, Pace University, and welcome to Geektalk. I'm your host, Justin Herrera. Today is October 21st, 2018, and this is my Venom review. My Venom review because I saw it this weekend, and I've been wanting to see this movie forever, but I did not get a chance to see it when it came out. So I saw this movie last weekend when I went home, and when I went home was kind of a fun thing. But I saw it with my brother. I finally got to see it. I was very happy that I got to see it, and I walked out of the theater I don't know how I felt. I liked it. I really did. But there were some parts that just bothered me. Well, first, I'd like to address that this review will have minor spoilers. I'm not going to spoil, the ending or anything like that. I'll spoil, minor things, especially not the end credit scene. Oh, speaking of which, there is an end credit scene. There's actually two. The first end credit scene has... Hold on, sorry. I'll just turn this off. Sorry about that. The first end credit scene has... stay for the first one. Don't go to the second one. The second one is just a trailer for Into the Spider-Verse, which is also a good movie, which I will probably try to get to see. Also, if you notice the shirts I'm wearing, I will try to wear a shirt every time I'm on the show. Geek Talk, Geek Shirts, why not? So let's get to the review. So like I said, let me start with this. I am a huge fan of Venom. He was one of the first heroes, you can't really say hero when it comes to him, anti-heroes that I was introduced to. I first saw him in the Spider-Man animated series in the late 90s, early 2000s. Well, it aired in the 90s and it aired in the 2000s as well. And VHS copies came out and then DVD and so on and so forth. But he is what you call an anti-hero. But he started out as a villain at first, basically. Thanks, Jack. He started out as an anti-hero. Basically, an anti-hero is somebody who lacks conventional heroics such as heroism, joy, courage, and idealism. So people such as Deadpool, Punisher, Vegeta, Wolverine, Rorschach from the Watchmen series, and many other, and Spawn, of course. They're all anti-heroes. They're good guys, but they kill to make their point, which is kind of cool in a way. But this Venom did start out as a villain to Spider-Man, and he was created by Todd McFarlane and Mark Miller back in 1988 in Amazing Spider-Man number 300. If you want a little bit more of the backstory, I might do another podcast talking about... Oh, shit. Let's help Noah. Might do another podcast talking about the history of comic books or the history of the Marvel Universe in the comic books. The cinematic universe is a whole other topic for an whole other day because I can't do that one by myself. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, let me also point out, in this movie, there is no Spider-Man. There is no Spider-Man movie. There's no references to Spider-Man. I mean, there are some scenes where you can say, hey, it is kind of Spider-Man, but it really is not. There are some scenes where Eddie talks about New York, and you think, oh, he's from New York, so that means he knows Spider-Man. No, there is no Spider-Man. There's no Peter Parker. There is nothing of the sorts of Peter Parker in here. So if you know Venom, then you know he has the powers of Spider-Man, basically. Webs in the wall crawling and all that. But in this version, Venom doesn't have webs. He doesn't have any of Spider-Man's powers. He can still climb the walls, but I assume that's just with his claws and everything, as you see in the movie. He has, instead of webs, he has tendrils, which come out of his hand, which will either can turn to weapons such as blades, shields, or whatever, and you can see that all throughout the movie. But and also Venom has abilities of super strength, super healing. He can shapeshift. He can, like I said, sharp tendrils to create blades. But in this movie, they're pointing him out as he's like this version of Venom is like kind of the weaker of the symbiotes in the movie. There are other symbiotes in the movie. It's based on the War of the Symbiotes. Basically, there's Venom, Riot. Actually, it's only Venom and Riot in the movie. If you've seen the trailers, you've seen there are two symbiotes in the movie. Riot is the tall, white-looking version. He looks like Venom, but he's taller and bigger and stronger and probably better. But in this movie, yes, there are multiple symbiotes. And I also like to point out, this movie was intentionally supposed to be rated R, which kind of gets me mad because it's Venom. And if you've seen what Venom looks like, he looks like a rated R character. I heard it was a rumor at some point for it to be rated R. And I don't know what excuse me, I don't know what the hell happened with that one. But also in this version, Venom will eat people. You see him eat people, but he says he does eat people. I will say he does eat people. He does bite the heads off of some people, but it's not like in exquisite detail. I mean, you see it, but you kind of don't, it's kind of intended to be rated R. There's other scenes where Riot is taking control of a Malaysian woman in Malaysia. Malaysian paramedic, she's about to get robbed, and her hand turned into a giant blade and slices the necks off of everybody, but you don't see any blood, obviously, because it's PG. Well, you do kind of see blood, but not really. So let's get to the movie. Now, Eddie Brock is played by Tom Hardy. Now, Tom Hardy, as you know, played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, which is another one of my favorite movies. No, Jack, I'm not going to talk about camp yet. That's for another talk. Please, we'll do that another time. But, oh, yeah. So Venom is played by Tom Hardy. As you know, hold on. Sorry. Venom is played by the three main characters you should know are Tom Hardy plays Eddie Brock and Venom, Michelle Williams as Annie, Eddie's love interest, and Riz Ahmed, who plays Carlton Drake. Now, Riz Ahmed was actually in Star Wars Rogue One. He played the Defector, actually. So he was, that's a fun little fact for you. He plays Carlton Drake, head of the Life Foundation. That is very true, Noah. That is very true. What happens in camp stays in camp. That is very, very true. For those of you who are listening on here, camp, I work at a summer camp over the summer, and the people who are in chat right now, I also live stream on YouTube, were my co-counselors, and they're trying to be funny. Ish is a strong word there. But as I was saying, the movie does feature other symbiotes. This is not a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. This is owned by Sony and Sony's own Spider-Verse. There's no Spider-Man, which kind of, I don't know why they're calling it Spider-Verse, even though there's no Spider-Man. But hopefully down the road, I know, Marvel did not acquire the rights to Venom. So Sony's going to keep that. So that will be, I kind of want it in the MCU, but I don't know how they're going to pull that off. Let's see what else I can say about the movie. The movie suffers from an identity crisis, basically. Like the beginning of the movie starts out with a lot of comedic humor, a lot of love, and then it goes to being serious, then it goes to humor, then it goes to serious, then it goes to humor. Like you don't know what to say about it. Like you really, really don't. Like you don't know what the tone. Yeah, each scene has its own tone, but you should stick with one identity of what it is, which is basically, don't go from comedic humor to being very serious, comedic humor to being serious, comedic humor to being serious. I don't mind when movies that are supposed to be serious have comedic humor in them. Like Infinity War had its comedic moments, which is fine, but you should stay with one role, just stay with one identity throughout the entire movie. Now, Venom is probably one of the most, he's probably one of the most entertaining parts of the movie. Let's be honest here. You really won't care about the other characters, even though I think you should only care about the three characters I mentioned before. They're probably the only good ones, to be honest. Let's see. When Eddie first gets the suit, he gets it in the laboratory, and you don't really see Venom until maybe 10 minutes after 10, 15 minutes after that scene airs. It's kind of interesting. Sorry about that. It's very hot in here. But it's like a buddy cop type humor type thing, which is really interesting because when he gets the suit, Venom is always in his head. It's like a second voice in his head, always telling him what to do. Oh, you're going to eat that guy or something like that. No, I'm not going to eat that guy. He's not a bad person. And Venom is always in his head. Venom tries to dark humor, which I'm really a big fan of. His dark humor is actually really funny at some points. When he goes to, I can't really curse too much on the air, but there's a couple scenes where there's one scene where Venom goes up, or Eddie and Venom go up to where Eddie used to work, I think some newsroom or something, and he left this tape recording or this video of what the Life Foundation is actually doing, which I'll get to right now, actually. The whole movie is basically about how the Life Foundation was sending aircrafts into space looking for other life. And at the beginning of the movie, there's a spacecraft that crash lands back on Earth, and then the symbiotes get loose and possess many different people to get to where they need to be. Now, the whole premise of the movie is that the Life Foundation, headed by Carlton Drake, is trying to find the cure for cancer. Is it cancer or Alzheimer's? I really couldn't remember. I don't know what he was trying to achieve out of that. But eventually, so Eddie Brock is a reporter, and it's his job to go into certain areas and uncover the truth. So he is assigned to the Life Foundation, Carlton Drake. Now Eddie knows that the Life Foundation is kind of shady in its own way, that they're just shady people. So Eddie gives him an interview, and the interview goes really bad. Eddie loses everything. Eddie loses his job, his wife, his girl, his fiance, his apartment, his everything. And it's that's 6 months after everything's lost. So then eventually, the Life Foundation obtains all one of the symbiotes, and they're trying to create symbiosis to find the perfect host for it, so it doesn't kill. The symbiote, his main job is to find a host. It needs a host to survive. It needs a host. It can't just survive on its own. It can, but it's not as powerful. If it has a host, it's so much better. Also, if you're listening on the SoundCloud or whatever, or the YouTube, if you wanted to call in, you're more than welcome to call in and say something. But so throughout the beginning of the movie, Carlton Drake is testing the symbiote on multiple people, and it's killing them because it doesn't work well. The symbiote doesn't want to work with them. Well, if it does change symbiosis, the symbiote is actually killing you inside. It's killing you, like it's eating you alive. But the power feels good to most people because who would not want to turn into a giant monster and wreak havoc everywhere? That sounds awesome. Yeah, for a little bit. But so eventually a scientist from the Life Foundation contacts Eddie and says, "Hey, we want to help you uncover the truth. Can you come down to the Life Foundation and you can snap your pictures or take a video, do whatever you need to do." So eventually Eddie goes to the Life Foundation, and I'm not going to spoil it after he gets the Venom suit, but he goes to the Life Foundation and he gets bonded with the suit, and all hell breaks loose. The car chase scene was an amazing scene, and in relation to the buddy cop scene, it's like they're protecting each other. They're protecting each other throughout the whole car chase scene, the whole everything. Venom is protecting Eddie on this bike, like he's just on the bike. The tendrils are flying everywhere, pushing cars out of the way. And the most iconic scene in the whole movie was what we saw in trailer 2. Trailer 2, actually, it was trailer 3. Excuse me, trailer 3. When you see the symbiote repair Eddie after he got hit by another car when he's on his bike, his leg is like snapped off, and his the suit just repairs it, and he goes, eyes, lungs, pancreas, so many snacks, so little time, and that was one of my favorite lines throughout the whole movie. I thought that humor was awesome. It really stayed true to the character. It really did, and not to mention Venom's appearance is awesome in this. Now, even though most people used to see the white spider like on his chest, that's not in here because obviously there's no Spider-Man, but I didn't really need that. I don't care. I just managed how he looks. I'm more of a fan of the big, bulky Venom because he's strong, he's big, he looks menacing, and not like the Spider-Man 3 version. Oh, God, I don't even want to talk about that movie. That movie is just so bad in so many ways. I don't know what the hell they were doing with Venom. He looked too skinny in that movie. Yes, he looked scary, but he was just too skinny. Like, he was like the size of a normal human being, and it's like, that's not Venom. Venom is supposed to be huge. Some versions of Venom have him the size of the Hulk. Not as strong, but he's the size of the Hulk. I mean, come on, you can't really screw that. But this movie did a really good job of nailing the look, and I think it was really awesome. Now, as I said before, Venom does eat people, and the symbiote does need food food to survive. It's a living organism like us. We need food to survive. So there's this one scene, and also this movie has very cringy scenes. Like there's one scene where Eddie goes into a restaurant looking for his girlfriend, and he's just eating everything inside. Like he just goes on people's plates and just takes their food and everything. It was such a cringy scene because everyone's just staring at him. And I kind of want to say what like the most cringy scene was, but like I don't want to spoil it because I don't know if anyone's going to see it. If people listening are actually going to see it, but I'll tell it. I'll explain it, but I won't go into too because Eddie spies a lobster tank, and he literally dives in the lobster tank and starts eating raw lobsters, just eating them, just biting the heads off. And he's not Venom at this point. He's just Eddie Brock. But you gotta remember, the symbiote is inside Eddie and needs food to survive. And there's other scenes where Eddie goes into his apartment, makes tater tots. I don't know why it's tater tots in that movie. I don't really care. And he's eating everything. He goes into the garbage, eats a chicken that he had the night before because it's not him that's hungry. It's the suit that's hungry. And actually, there's the one line that references the comic book where Venom's favorite thing is actually chocolate, where Eddie asks Venom, what do you want to eat? And Venom's like, tater tots and chocolate, which is a very serious nod to Venom liking chocolate in one of the versions of The Amazing Spider-Man. Or it was Venom Lethal Protector series. And actually, this movie is also based on the Venom Lethal Protector series, which is what I had read as a kid. Now, the term Lethal Protector means anti-hero in its own way, because, come on, Lethal Protector. It was an awesome series. It was really good. I have some of the issues at home. My dad used to collect them, and I collected them, and they were really, really good. But let's talk about what could we talk about? I don't want to spoil too much of the movie without you guys going to see it because it is. I didn't regret I paid full price for it, but I wish it could have been better in its own way. But let's see what else I have on my little notes here. Oh, yeah. So, Riot. Let's talk about Riot. Now, when the ship crash lands, Riot is stuck in Malaysia. So he's possessing multiple people just to get back to San Francisco. Now, Riot is. I'm trying to explain. Now, remember what I said before? Is War of the Symbiotes? That's what it's based off. There's multiple symbiotes, not just in this movie, but in the Marvel Comics universe as well. There's multiple symbiotes. There's multiple. I can't remember all the names on top of it. It's Venom, Scream, Riot. There's plenty and plenty of other ones. But give me 1 second. Hold on, I'm just getting a message. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, so there's multiple symbiotes anyway. So Riot basically travels all across Malaysia just to get back to San Francisco, so he can get the rocket, go back to where he's from, and bring back more symbiotes for an alien invasion. That's like I said, minor spoiler, but I mean it's Venom. I feel like it's not like Infinity War levels of spoiler. It's Venom. It's not like it's a huge thing. I mean, like I said, it's minor spoiler. I'm not spoiling the end credit scene. I'm not gonna spoil anything else. I'm not gonna spoil the final fight scene, how he beats Riot. I'm not gonna explore that at all. But so eventually he gets back to He gets back to New York, and Venom explains that Riot is the most powerful of the group. He's what they call a team player, and that he has got shit that you have never seen. He says that to Eddie in one scene. And when they fight, Riot is pulling out all the stuff. He's got like bladed hand weapons. He's got everything to beat Venom down. And it's just a great. It wasn't a bad fight. I liked the fight particularly. I thought it was really cool. And just like all the scenes with Venom in it, he just steals the show. Like he really does. Like there were a lot of rumors about this movie. Like I said, one rumor was Spider-Man was in the movie. He's made a cameo. He was not. I addressed that earlier. He was not in the movie, and excuse me, he was on the movie. And the other rumors that Venom was only in the movie for 5 minutes, which was absolutely untrue. Which would have been stupid and a very stupid move by Sony, but they didn't do that. Venom. There was at least 2 or 3 whole scenes with Venom in them, like Venom doing actually his thing, and Eddie with the Venom suit on, with Venom himself on it. So. Eddie himself with the suit inside, and there was a lot of scenes with Eddie just running through the forest, having super strength, running really fast, taking on the guards by himself. He's like, how did I do that? Now, throughout the whole movie, throughout most of the movie, Venom is kind of like saying, okay, we need to get back to the rocket so I can do my own thing. He didn't tell Eddie what his plans were, and Eddie did not know that this thing was killing him inside. It was killing him. He didn't know that. Now, there's one scene in the movie where Eddie loses the suit. I feel like that's a trope with every superhero movie like that. As the hero loses his powers. It doesn't have to, with almost any superhero movie, the hero loses his powers, or I don't know, he doesn't want to be the hero anymore. But in this movie, he loses the powers for like a little bit, but obviously he gets them back because he's got to get them back. But you come to find out that the Venom suit's any symbiote's weaknesses is fire and sound vibrations, and I think electricity, if you want to go to that way, like getting shocked by electricity, which is the same as being burnt to hell. But I mean, same thing. So the way sound. There's one scene. I'll explain one scene how the sound vibrations actually are harmful to the Venom suit. Venom is climbing up the news tower. What he did before, he was standing on top of the tower, and he says, "Your planet's actually really beautiful. It's gonna be a shame when I have to come back." And then he's like, "Wait, what?" And there's a plane flying overhead, and the sound of the engines and like the really hard sound is enough for the Venom suit to be stunned and Eddie to almost fall off the tower and die. But then he eventually the suit comes back and it saves his life off the tower. So, but yeah, this movie was really good. Now, when I found out they were making a Venom movie, I was really, really, really shocked. I think I read something about it back in like high school, like 2012, maybe, that there's a Venom maybe too early, maybe 11th grade, so maybe about 2013, 2014, that there was a Venom movie in the works. But it's just been passed down so many different directors and different. It was just so many things happened. They couldn't find an actor that wanted to play the role, but then Tom Hardy stepped in. I think that was a really good thing that he did because he's a really good Eddie Brock, I feel. But after months and months and months of it, we finally got our first trailer of the movie, and I was not impressed at all. If you ever want to go look it up on YouTube, it's the teaser trailer for Venom. you don't even see Venom in the trailer. It's just Eddie Brock and everything, just little scenes here and there. It wasn't until trailer 1 where we got our first look at Venom. And people were like, oh my God, yes, Venom looks awesome. He looks great. Or people, the hardcore comic book was like, no, he looks awful. I don't like the way he looks. Some stupid stuff. Then by trailer 3, we got like a full on like Venom in action type thing of what he's actually doing. Now, Venom in action, the movie, there's one scene where he takes on like a group of people. Like I say, what the group of people are, what they're doing, what they're trying to do. And it's just like a complete bloodbath. It's not bloody at all, but it's pretty interesting. It was a pretty cool scene. I was one of my favorite scenes because Venom, he's just tearing through everyone, and Eddie has to stop him from eating somebody. Eddie says, "We do not eat people. We do not do that. We don't do that at all." And eventually, Annie, his ex-fiance, gets involved in the whole thing, and it's all. And she is also plays a big part in the climax of the movie. But if you keep up with if you look at spoilers on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, you know that there's another person in the movie that's supposed to lead up to a sequel. I feel like if you're a hardcore comic fan or just know Venom in general, I feel like you know who I'm talking about. For people that are not listening, you should just check it out and watch the movie yourself, or you can just look it up on YouTube, look at the end, look at the end credit scene. It's not the Spider-Verse. Remember, you do not have to stay for the Spider-Verse unless you want to see the trailer again, because I saw the trailer already I saw the trailer leading up to the movie, because it was a preview before the movie started. So you can watch that again. Some versions have like a clip of the movie, but I'm not really looking to see a clip of it. I'm just going to go see the movie when it comes out, and it's fine by me. But yeah, I thought it was a really good movie. It was a solid, at least maybe 6.5 or 7 out of 10. I really thought it was good. I was really happy with it. Would I see it again? Maybe at a discount, all full price. I think I paid like $12 for a ticket. I know the theater by me is like there's like a special. It's like $6 Tuesdays, so I mean, you might as well go see it then. But I would see it again. Only if I wouldn't go by myself. I'd probably go with somebody so I can just like make fun of the parts I didn't like, or enjoy the parts with somebody that I actually liked. But yeah, that is my review of Venom. Like I said, go see the movie if you're a huge fan of Venom. Other than that, if you want to go see just to make fun of something, or just want to see a giant monster just wreck everybody, then I advise you go see it. Thank you for listening to Geek Talk, and I will talk to you later. But next week, we will talk, since Halloween is coming up, we will talk about our favorite Halloween moments. Now, Halloween is coming out. It actually already came out, the Halloween movie, but it doesn't have to be specifically about the Halloween series. It could be anything Halloween related. You got scary stories you could call in and tell me about, or you can talk about any scary movie that you've seen, or just anything. What are you going to do on Halloween? What are you going to be for Halloween? What are you going to, I don't know, just what's your favorite candy on Halloween, favorite Halloween memories? It could be anything. On me, I'm going to talk about my favorite Halloween memories, movies, and so on and so forth. And hopefully I'm going to try to stick a monster talk stream in there, like favorite monsters from monster movies, or that could range from killers to actual monsters, such as anybody. I think I can't even think of one on top of my head. There's so many. Jason, Mike Myers, Freddy Krueger, anybody, literally anybody. The werewolf, Fat Dracula, whatever. But like I said, thank you for tuning in for those who are listening, and I will talk to you later. Peace out.